You ever have one of those moments that just completely pulls the rug out from under you? An experience so powerful that it doesn't just change what you think, it changes the very ground you walk on? Well, there's actually a name for that. It's called an ontological shock. And today, we're going to try to understand what that really means.
I mean, this quote just nails it, right? We're not talking about a small surprise here. This is a total, top-to-bottom reorganization of your inner world. It's like all the furniture you've known your whole life, your beliefs, your certainties, gets tossed into the air, and you have no idea where it's all going to land.
So here's the deal. We all walk around with a kind of mental map of how the world works. It's our frame for reality. An ontological shock is that gut-wrenching moment when the frame itself cracks, and you suddenly realize the world is so much bigger, so much more complicated, and maybe even a little scarier than your map ever let on.
To really get our heads around this, let's try a little thought experiment. Just for a second, imagine your entire worldview is a single room.
This room, it's cozy, you know? It feels safe. Everything is predictable. You know the layout, you know where the couch is, and you trust that the floor is going to hold your weight. This room is the structure of your life. It's the sum of all your assumptions about how things are supposed to be. But then, something happens. Maybe the lights flicker for a second, and when they come back on, the room is not the same. The very frame of your reality just breaks.
And you know, this kind of shock can come from literally anywhere. It could be something as small as a single whispered sentence from someone you trust, or as huge as a life-altering spiritual experience. It could be the sharp pain of betrayal, or the pure awe you feel learning about a new discovery. The source almost doesn't matter. It's the effect that counts. Your stable world is shattered.
And this is what makes it so deeply terrifying. This isn't just about changing your mind or having a new opinion. See, you built your entire identity inside that room, inside that frame. So when the frame cracks, your sense of self, it cracks right along with it.
So you're left dealing with two things at once. On one hand, you're hit with this raw, unfiltered truth that you absolutely cannot ignore anymore, but at the exact same time, you're grieving. You're mourning the loss of that simple, comfortable reality you used to live in. It's a moment of incredible clarity and incredible loss, all tangled up together.
Okay, so your world is upside down. You're standing there in the rubble of what you used to believe. What do? Well, most of us tend to go down one of two paths. And honestly, while they're understandable, they don't really lead anywhere good.
Path number one is just pure denial. You grab some duct tape, you frantically try to piece the old frame back together, and you just pretend nothing ever happened. The second path? That's despair. You just sit down in the ruins, convinced that because your old map was wrong, no map can ever be right. You just give up.
And this really gets to why those two paths fail. An ontological shock isn't like breaking a few plates. You can't just sweep up the pieces and move on. No, this is like losing your home, the very structure that gave you shelter and meaning. You can't just sweep that away. You have to reckon with what's been lost.
So if denial and despair are dead ends, what's left? Well, thankfully, there is a third path. It's a wiser, more deliberate way to start rebuilding.
This third way, it isn't about finding a quick fix. It's about having courage. It means you actually have to let yourself feel that confusion and disorientation. You have to poke around in the wreckage and figure out what happened. And only then can you slowly and very intentionally start to build something new, something stronger.
And the whole process really starts with this one fundamental question. You have to be brave enough to look in the mirror and ask, what was I blind to? What did my old, comfortable room keep me from seeing?
Okay, next you got to get specific. What was the one belief, the core assumption that actually collapsed? Was it about a person, about the world, about yourself? You have to name it. Pinpointing it is a huge step toward getting clarity. And then, finally, this is where you make the pivot. You shift your focus from what you lost to what you gained. In that empty space where the old belief used to be, what new, more honest truth has shown up? Because that's the raw material for your new frame. Because when you go through this process, the new frame you build, it's not some fragile repair of the old one. It's a full-on upgrade. It's bigger, more spacious. It can hold more complexity. It's more resilient, built to handle whatever life throws at it next. And most important of all, it's more honest. It's more aligned with the world as it actually is.
And this brings us to one last really powerful way to think about this whole experience. What if this painful, disorienting shock isn't something to be afraid of? What if it's actually something else entirely?
This might be the biggest shift in perspective you can make. To see the shock not as some kind of punishment for being wrong, but as an invitation to grow. The universe isn't penalizing you, it's just inviting you to see a bigger picture.
Think of it like life breaking a shell that you've just outgrown. Yeah, the breaking part hurts, but it's the only way for the person you're becoming, your truer, more authentic self, to actually have enough room to emerge and breathe.
So when that frame breaks, the invitation is to just stand still for a minute. Let your eyes adjust to the new light, and look around carefully. Because what you're seeing, it isn't just the end of your old world. It might just be the very beginning of a much, much wider one.